I tell you, the father, Hector, was just so happy to hand his phone over to his son, Harley. Harley was the one on that bus, and he was sitting next to the emergency window of all places, and tells me he was the first one out. So actually, Mark, you were just talking about the school. We're 2, maybe 3 blocks away, so this is what everyone's seeing, but now you're getting a view from the ground. Of course, I have my photographer here in front of me, but really right now I'm doing something police are advising women in this area to avoid at all costs, and that's walking down the street alone late at night. Let's get a little closer and show you this space. You can see I can barely fit inside. Border Patrol agents tell me that this is how the people who built this ventilate the tunnel. That driver may not have made it out of this fire if it wasn't for him and his friends. So we do have 2 heroes tonight here in Del Zura. Reporting live, Candice, NBC7. Brianna?
After weeks of emails,
Brianna with NBC7
and requests for an interview,
the charity says the money is gone.
NBC7 Investigates got a chance to ask Brianna King the one question the family she's impacted want answered.
Where's the money? Can you freeze? Where's the money?
This is the first time the ex-CEO and president of local childhood cancer charity Wish Warriors has appeared in court to answer to criminal charges linked to donation money her former board members say is, quote, gone, used by Brianna for her own personal desires.
We will enter a not guilty plea, deny the allegations.
In court, King pleaded not guilty to charges. She stole donation money meant for 13-year-old Casey Harvey and 12-year-old Maddie Taylor. Both girls are battling serious forms of childhood cancer.
Some people just, I don't have words to explain. It's just all emotion.
That's Maddie Taylor on July 10th, reacting to when her family first learned the money raised for them was reportedly squandered.
Do you have anything to say to the Harveys? Anything to say to the Taylor family?
Even people who've known King since she was a child say they're shocked.
I'm like horrified by it. I just am blown out of the water. I have to say, I never thought she would do anything like this.
To date, none of the cancer patients have received any money from this charity golf tournament.
The families affected by Wish Warriors say King's promise to help initially gave them hope and meaning. 2 powerful things when you're fighting a battle this tough. They say if the allegations are true, she took far more from them than money.
Tomorrow, of course, is Veterans Day, a time to honor all of our servicemen and women.
But several military members from across the country tell NBC7 Investigates a local jewelry business is doing the exact opposite.
Many of you have probably passed by these stores. There are 4 in San Diego County, all in upscale malls. We wanted to find out exactly what they've been selling and at what price.
Service and sacrifice, 2 things Jacob Helmuth says his mother taught him.
My dad left when I was I want to say 9 or 10, so from that point on, she literally raised me all by herself.
At 20 years old, he left home for Camp Pendleton to serve his country as a U.S. Marine. On his first day off, he was thinking of family. He was thinking of his mom.
I wanted to do something nice for her, for once.
That's when he bought this, the Mother's Medal of Honor. A Romano's Jewelers sales associate sold the necklace and a watch to him for more than $2,300, a price that raised a red flag for his mother, so she called NBC7 Investigates. We had Helmuth send us details about the purchase and learned he signed up for a payment plan. He realizes now that was a big mistake.
They didn't show me the percentage rate.
His monthly statement shows an interest rate of 29.9%. It also shows a minimum payment that doesn't even cover the cost of the interest fee.
What did you leave the store with?
I left with 2 or 3 papers.
None of which he says were copies of his agreement. 19-year-old Navy sailor Antoine Graham says the same thing happened to him.
The only paperwork I got was what you're holding in your hand right there.
Based on the documents that I've seen, there are some very big omissions in what should be provided that just aren't there. And that's troubling.
Consumer protection attorney Tim Blood says disclosure laws require businesses providing credit to explain finance agreements clearly and conspicuously in writing in a form that the consumer may keep.
We weren't even financing them. We were just taking their money.
Oscar Castillo worked for Romano's for 2 years at the business's gas lamp and National City locations until he was laid off in June.
They are targeting military. they would only target the younger ones, the ones who are just fresh in, the Marines, the Navy.
Castillo, Graham, and Helmuth are far from the only ones speaking out. We received similar calls and emails from military members and their families from across the country.
Their goal is to make the sale by any means possible.
During the weeks of our investigation, our numerous requests for an interview with the business owner, Randy Albalcald, were declined. Instead, the company had us talk to George Merlis, Romanos Jewelers marketing manager.
Here at this location, I can assure you that I personally am involved in the training process to ensure that people understand everything from A to Z.
Merlos was unable to respond to specific concerns, like customers saying they did not receive copies of their agreements.
This is the first time I've heard about it.
Or customers saying sales associates did not clearly explain payment plans.
Again, it's the first time I've heard about it.
But later in the interview,
since it's come to our attention, we've had new policies and procedures set in place to ensure customer satisfaction.
So it sounds like you were made aware of some of these issues even before this interview. So what were some of the issues that prompted you to...
It came to my attention before this, this interview.
And what were some of those issues of the ones that we've been talking about?
Correct, everything that you've mentioned.
It certainly appears that they are not making the disclosures that they're required to make.
With the store's no return, no refund policy, Helmuth says he feels financially stuck.
I'm still being forced to pay this.
A piece of jewelry from a business he says stands for anything but service and sacrifice. Anything but what his mother taught him.
And she didn't deserve that. She deserves a lot better.
For some background on how we came across this story, it wasn't the military members who reached out to us, it was their mothers, many of them still helping their sons pay off these bills.
Searching for San Diego's best taco? It's like comparing apples and oranges. You can't do it.
But it looks good.
Because each taco, in a way, is someone's story. For instance, there's Chef Oso Campos at Tacos Perla at 30th and Yupes Street.
My family's from the central part of Mexico, and I have traveled a lot backpacking for many, many years.
The Tijuana native backpacked across Mexico's coastline for 7 years. In exchange for a roof over his head, he helped families around their homes. He says the flavors he picked up from the cooking of mothers and grandmothers he met on his 1,000-mile journey appear in his tacos and sauces.
This is a mix of nuts.
Nuts?
A mix of nuts, and it's a charred chile de árbol. Let me get you some of this so you can...
It's not surprising, Campos is all about new experiences, which is why, in addition to typical garnishes, you can order these crunchy critters.
In my personal opinion, they're great on flavor.
Crickets or chapulines are commonly eaten in certain parts of Mexico. In fact, they're eaten all around the world, in places where other sources of protein can be difficult to come by. Although harder for Westerners to digest psychologically, the practice of eating bugs, or etymophagy, is gaining popularity in niche communities, valued for being low in fat, high in protein, and pretty tasty when tossed in garlic, lime juice, and salt. Cheers!
Cheers. They're really good, salty. They have a little lime on it.
The thing about North Park is that people here like to explore. They like to experiment, which is why the owner of City Tacos here says his place became a hit in just a few months.
I was born and raised everywhere.
Owner Gerald Torres says when people try his tacos, he wants them to experience the different flavors of modern-day Mexico.
There is so many more recipes and flavors that people don't know here. Mainland Mexico, San Miguel de Allende, Guadalajara, Mexico City.
From bay scallops and cream reduction to seared mahi, and oh, the fried shrimp taco, you have to try that one. His style of cooking highlights more than just different regions of Mexico. It highlights North Park.
It's vibrant, it's very young, very hip. People here are very open-minded, they're willing to try new things.
We've explored the new and the edgy. Now it's time to bring it back home to one of San Diego's oldest and most culturally rich neighborhoods, Barrio Logan.
Talk about a family-owned business. Las Cuatro Milpas here has been owned by 3 generations of the Estudillo family here at its original location in Barrio Logan. There's a long line behind me here, and it's not even rush hour.
You gotta have the beef taco.
And
rice and beans.
It's our grandparents' dream since they came to this country in the 20s. It all started in this little room.
Natividad and Manuela Estudillo say their grandfather came to the U.S. to escape the Mexican Revolution. Decades ago, Natividad Sr. and his wife started the restaurant on Logan Avenue with only a few food items. And really, that hasn't changed. Just look at the menu now.
We don't sell too many things. We sell about 7 things and that's it.
Why not expand to a bigger menu?
Too many things. It's better to do the right thing.
For the Estudillo family, their food embodies their family's spirit. You see, when you're eating certain cultural cuisines, you're not just tasting different ingredients. You're experiencing, sharing in a story, if you will, of a person, a family, a journey, and a place. Candice, NBC 7.